Before we begin, thank you very much to Amy V for joining my Patreon campaign. Very appreciated. Thank you so much. You also, you pitched in at the highest level. You get a request of whatever type of video you want. You gave me your request, but I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. The request might be whatever video I want, but otherwise don't know what to do, or don't ever get around to doing, which is an interesting request. So it can be things like that too, so which is cool. Amy was the last one on my do list, and then just like literally 10 minutes before I sat down to record this, I got another Patreon. So that's gonna be tomorrow's shout out. We're still going. It's slowing down, but we're still going on it. All right, so today we have some of the most surprising and welcome news that I think I have seen in a long time in the realm of Transformers, Hasbro, toys in general. This is a very fascinating thing all around. Hasbro and Mattel have actually announced that they have entered a multi-year license agreement for cross-branded toys. The two biggest toy manufacturers in America are now combining forces to create cross-branded stuff. That's pretty insane when you think about it. Like this would be like if, like back in the day, like Nintendo and Sega teamed up to do like joint video games, where you could play as Sonic the Hedgehog and Super Mario Brothers. Now, I know today that's a pretty easy thing to realize. We have Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games. We have Mario Maker where Sonic can be playable in the original. We have those things, all right? So that's not too shocking now, but back then it was pretty huge. It would have been enormous. And this is kind of the same magnitude. These are direct competitors that actually are going to work together on a few things, and that is very fascinating. So what we know we are getting so far from this, we are getting a Barbie-themed Monopoly game, and we are getting Transformers-themed Uno, and this is the cool one, Hot Wheels. Hasbro has tried for years to get Hot Wheels to get into the Hot Wheels market, and now they're just going, okay, you will just pay you to do it instead. How about that? So this is all kind of huge. This is kind of enormous. All right, so let me read a little press it here. As the toy makers ramp up their Hollywood ambitions, Hasbro will create Barbie-themed Monopoly games to launch fall 2023, while Mattel will produce Transformers-branded Uno games set to release later this year, and Transformers-branded Hot Wheel vehicles will debut in early 2024. So they are kind of implying that these are timed to be somewhere in the hype area for the new movies. Obviously, these things coming out a month from now is a little bit of an exaggeration, but if we have like Rise of the Beast Uno sets coming out in the fall, that wouldn't be really shocking. We are excited to pair some of the most popular brands together for the first time. This collaboration features world-class IP, celebrates the timeless appeals of these brands, and creates unique play opportunities for fans. Nick Karamanos, Senior VP of Entertainment Partnerships at Mattel, said in a statement, With the major theatrical release of Transformers and Barbie movies in summer of 2023, we are excited to bring brand new play experiences to fans, families, and movie and toy lovers all around the world, said Casey Collins, President of Global Licensed Consumer. So, this is all fun to know. Okay, so giants are working together here. They're working on things that they are inherently not competing with each other against. Hasbro does not have an equivalent to an Uno set. Mattel does not have an equivalent to a Monopoly. All right, fine. Now, we know this door has already been opened once before. In order to get the Jurassic Park license, Mattel would have had to sign off on it because they have the master license for the toys. So maybe this is what opened up the door. Maybe this made it a reality. Now from what I know, this set seemed to be successful enough. Yes, you can find it on clearance pretty well, but that is, but still, overall, it seemed like this was a really relatively well-received set, because it is, really unique for Transformer and Jurassic Park fans. The irony is that Mattel just announced this thing. So right on the edge of like, oh, we could have the Transformers people working on this. They went, oh, no, no. A little too late. We already did it. This thing is up on order now. It's $50. I don't know if I'm gonna get this because it's something of a monstrosity. I might wait for this to go on clearance, just to get it as a curiosity. I think it's ironic timing. So what can we do in this video? Well, we can do what I love to do, which is wild and unproven speculation. And we can just figure out exactly what this means, because this is a multi-year licensing deal. They're not going to do like a card game, a board game, and then call it quits. No. We're in it. You know, like multi-year usually means like 3-year deal. So, you know, minimum. So let's see what exactly we can get. Now, we're pretty familiar with Hasbro brands here on this channel, though I will admit I don't delve into much Mattel toy. So let's see exactly what we got. I mean, obviously, like Jurassic Park opens up a world of possible Beast Wars collaboratives. If we want a Dinobot that actually looks exactly like a Velociraptor from Jurassic Park, we can do that now. Dinobots, obviously, as cross-branded toys. The vehicles from the movie, that's doable. Yeah, so, and let's not even just think about, like, in the Transformer realm. Let's try to think about what other, like, extensions we can do. Like, I mentioned Barbie before, right? So, what about doing a Power Ranger-themed Barbie? Because back in the day, Bandai of America did try to compete with Barbie with Power Rangers. That you could get a pink and yellow Ranger that had multiple outfits, so you could either dress them up in their Ranger suit or their civilian suit. They had, you know, like, they were basically Barbie dolls. They just weren't made by Mattel. So you could do a throwback to that, and they could actually be Barbie-themed Power Ranger dolls now. So it's a little bit retro, but it's also, like, much more in the official range. On the other side of this, yes, there are things like transforming pink convertibles and Barbie cars and etc. That would be interesting. It'd definitely be a different look for tracks, wouldn't it? But hey, that might be fun, though. That might be fun. There's a lot of range. There's a lot of range you could do with Barbie. It's a massive toy line, right? And it's one of those timeless toy lines. So there's room. Hot Wheels is the same way. Hot Wheels is just one of those toy lines that never loses relevancy. I mean, it has always been the biggest toy car toy line in the world. Still is. Some of the most insane stories I hear of, like, just crazy collectors come from the Hot Wheels world. This would be great for Transformers, obviously, because of vehicles, etc. I could also see, like, G.I. Joe getting in on this for a lot of their vehicles as well. Hasbro has always failed to try and get in on this market. I think they had Street Stars during the movie. No. It was Transformers RPM. It's Transformers RPM, where they were trying to basically do their own Hot Wheels cars. It didn't really work. I actually have, like, the Devastator track set that they did back somewhere in storage, because I was going to do it for Plastic Addict. But they were trying even back in the early 90s with what we now know as Spy Changers, because those were designed to be Hot Wheels scaled and work with Hot Wheels tracks, and they were designed to roll really well. You know, so this is something that Hasbro's familiar with, and I feel similar to, like, what happened with Lego and Creo. They kind of just went, you know what, this doesn't work anymore. Here, you do it. You do it for us, and that's exactly what we have now. I'm actually wondering if Hot Wheels and Mattel have the license to certain vehicle manufacturers and models that Hasbro has not been able to capitalize on in a long time. That would be interesting if that was the case. All right, what else we got here? Mega Bloks. All right, so Mega Bloks is another one of those brands where, like, I don't think you're going to break that licensing deal with Lego to make, like, Transformer Lego or anything like that. Mega Bloks really does strike me as something that would be far better for, say, Power Rangers and G.I. Joe, where you could, you know, when I'm going off of, like, the success that Mega Bloks has had with, like, their Halo figures, for instance. That I could see. That might actually work. That could be a good way of keeping G.I. Joe out there and keeping it relevant. There is a company that did building block toys for Power Rangers and G.I. Joe. The sets are absolutely terrible, and the only place I've ever seen them was in liquidation stores. Yeah, like, go, look up what the Megazord looks like. It's the saddest, I swear, it's the saddest toy I've ever seen. But I think Mega Bloks would do a much better job making like a Megazord come to life, or like a command center, like a Mega Block command center. That would be sick. That would be cool. All right. What else? I forgot that Mattel had the muscle license. Now, keep in mind, Super 7 has done muscle figures in the past, but they do it with a license from Mattel in order to manufacture them. So Super 7 also does have the license for Transformers. That's how they're doing their Super 7 Ultimates. So this could be a way of making these cross-compatible. And then Muscle is not the most exciting toy line, but it makes me think back to the decoys from G1. This could be an interesting way of putting decoy-style collectibles back into the marketplace to do it Transformer style. That's what got me thinking on this one. Obviously, other brands as well would work for Muscle, but like that's where I really feel like there's a home there for that, right? They have some interesting licenses too when it comes to other things. Now, we're leaving everything on the table. We're going to assume that Mattel has the license for it, and if Hasbro has a license for it, the two can cross combine. So like if we want to do like Marvel Uno at some point, we could do Marvel Uno. Similarly, Toy Story pretty much opens up an entire plethora of what could we do with this. Can we, like a transforming Buzz Lightyear? That could be a thing here. Could we actually make, please someone tell me that we can make Rex out of the Kingdom Megatron mold. Please tell me. Mattel has the license for Barney as well. I almost thought of that too, but like, no, that's already a purple dinosaur. It'd be more likely a Grimlock retool than anything. I mean, pie in the sky. This is just being silly, but it's possible. It's doable. They also have Cars as well, which that immediately just makes me think Transforming Lightning McQueen, Transforming Mater. That's about the easiest thing in the world to think up. Because I don't. What would be great? What would be great? Power Rangers RPM toys in Cars style, because they already look like they could be Cars style. They would just be, I guess they'd just be Cars at that point, wouldn't they? WWE. This is one of the major licenses that Mattel has. And this is, again, now you're not going to come up with much for Transformers in this instance, but you do have a little bit of history here. Sergeant Slaughter and Roddy Piper were both G.I. Joe toys at one time. Sergeant Slaughter, far more well-known. Roddy Piper was done as like a one-off thing, just so he had some kind of villain on the other side of that coin, which was a cool thing to do. You could expand on that. You could have an entire run of similar to how they did Masters of the Universe WWE crossover. You do the same thing with G.I. Joe at some point. I think that would be funny. I think it'd be funny to expand on the idea of Sergeant Slaughter as a G.I. Joe character, and then just have like a host of heels and faces on like the Cobra and G.I. Joe side. Beyond that, it's a Transformer channel. I should try to think of what Transformery thing you could do, but really, there really isn't much in the way of known things for WWE when it comes to vehicles. Once in a while you get Eddie Guerrero's Lowrider, JBL's limo, but that's still not that iconic. It's nothing you could make a toy out of that everyone would go for. This is more in the realm of this would be great for all of Hasbro's board games. I would absolutely see that a WWE Monopoly, where the whole point is to start at NXT and then work your way up to WrestleMania. And then you've got instead of houses, you get rings that you put on the different stadiums and events. That's the kind of thing that I imagine. WWE Monopoly seems like a very easy thing to do. This was pointed out by Proto Man on Twitter. I can't take credit for this, but there's a super well-known knockoff of Thomas the Tank as a transforming combiner, and that's actually a thing that could happen now. That is literally something that could happen now, or at the very least, a transforming Thomas the Tank engine. I think is a pretty easy shoe-in if they go collaborative for this kind of thing. That's a super easy one to do. Let's get a little bit weird. Let's go for a weird one. They still have the Street Sharks license, or they still own Street Sharks. And when I think Street Sharks, okay, fine. Skybite repaints come to mind, but really, like, these would be hard to work into a Transformer scheme with how large their heads are. No, when I think of, like, the Street Sharks and the main 4 sharks, like the 4 brothers from that show, the thing that immediately jumps to my head is Hungry Hungry Hippos, Street Sharks edition. Like, right? Like, Jawsome, Hungry Hungry Hippos. That would be fun. That would be fun. So, it's weird stuff like that is possible now. That's the kind of thing I like. I threw Mighty Max in here because it made me realize, you know what would have worked? You know how this would have worked? If this was done for modulators. You imagine if you took modulator technology of making those tiny little bases and now it's a Mighty Max playset? Might actually work better than the modulators were. Then again, there were only 2 modulator molds, so how well could the concept have done anyway? But, you know, it's a thing. You know, Hasbro's done micro-based Transformers. This is a thing that could actually be expanded on. You know, if you wanted to go super retro with it. Speaking of super retro, here's another one that Transformers has tried to cop many times over the years. There have been more than one attempt to create Rock'em Sock'em's robot-style toys for Transformers. None of them particularly good, but here we actually have that possibility now. We can have Optimus Prime and Megatron slugging it out until one's head flies off. You could do the same thing with, you know, like Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. You know, you could do the same thing with, you know, like a Red Ranger and a Green Ranger. You know, you like the possibilities are there, and throughout Hasbro's license, like you know, sky's the limit. Yeah, you look at the Marvel license too. Look, like how many different Marvel characters could you throw in there? Like literally, this is an endless possibility. You could make them interchangeable. You could make them interchangeable. If I want Optimus Prime to duke it out with Deadpool, that can be a thing. That could be a thing. It just means they have to think of it. This is why I have to think of these things, so they will think of it. Here's something I always wanted as a kid, but it's only possible now, and that is the Power Wheels. Man, back in the day, you had like pedal cars for some Transformers, so that's a thing. But actual Power Wheels, this was always the rich kid's toy. Like, this is not something every kid had. Like, usually, like, one kid on the block was the cool kid that had a Power Wheel. But if they had a Transformer-themed one back in the day, oh my God, would I have jumped on it. Now, we can have that. That would be super cool. That would be super cool. Minecraft. Now, obviously, when we're talking like Transformers stuff and all that, we can't really do anything Minecraft. Minecraft does have a relationship with Hasbro already. There are a few brands that have official skin packs in Minecraft that are still buyable. Like Power Rangers, there's an official skin pack for Power Rangers, so that license deal is in place. So you could bring that to toy form now, or tell me this isn't the best idea. Tell me this isn't the best idea. Minecraft Jenga. Minecraft Jenga. And let's throw an added twist into this. So you get your Minecraft Jenga set. It's like just all these like painted blocks that look like just random Minecraft blocks. And you're stacking it, you're playing it just like normal Jenga. But the base is painted and shaped to look like a creeper. And the base is spring-loaded to go off. And if it's your turn and you have not gotten something to the top yet, creeper blows up your build. Tell me that's not the best idea. Tell me that is not the best idea. I have not played Jenga in years. I like my Minecraft, but I've never really bought a Minecraft toy. I would buy that in an instant. Oh my god. Oh my god. Just to add in like a minor heart attack and panic attack while you're playing Jenga, which is already something of a panic attack. Yeah. That might actually be a lot of fun. And then there is the big one. There is the biggest one as far as like where my interest lies and where the possibilities are, and that is Masters of the Universe. You've got all the different vehicles that can be done. You can do all these different crossovers where, you could have a Skeletor that's decorated like Lord Zed. You could have something akin to that. You could have a He-Man that is in Red Ranger armor, complete with like a weapon that is both power swords merged together. That is a thing that could happen. You got transforming vehicles, transforming companions. Tell me that like a retool of Kingdom Tigatron as Battle Cat. Tell me that wouldn't sell. That would sell. That would sell so fast. I've got a friend of mine who would pay anything for something that weird and random. The sky's the limit on here. Don Figueroa on Twitter posted artwork he had of a transforming Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain. If we wanted to do Titan scale Castle Grayskull transformer, it's unlikely, admittedly, but man, it's fun to think of the possibilities, because this is where I think a lot of the like two iconic 80s brands having cross-branded toys. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Like, even if you just want to flip the script and go like standard Transformer characters in like He-Man style aesthetic and poses, like that kind of simple action figure stuff, that's a doable thing too. Like, this is like a crazy amount of possibility here. And I really hope this isn't just like, hey, let's just make board games for each other. I genuinely hope that they take advantage of this and just go nuts and just do the craziest things they can imagine, because when else are we ever going to have this opportunity? So that's just a few ideas. I could literally go on like this for hours. This opens up so many possibilities. This opens up so many cool avenues. Let me know in the comments below, what is the craziest thing you want to see? Like, knowing Hasbro and Mattel brands, if you're crossing them together, what is the strangest pairing? Like, what is the coolest thing you could think of that they could possibly do? Because as long as I've been going on about this, I know I didn't name it. I know the coolest thing out there didn't come to my mind. Someone's going to think of it, though. Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.